Welcome to my multidimensional living room, where I'm gonna be painting energies. It took me 6 hours to get myself here, because there were energies that really wanted to be painted, and it was quite a chunk of an energy that I really felt like I need to process first and foremost before I put it here. And it clashed with my own personal free will of like, how am I gonna do that? Because there were ways, I could do it this way or that way or not at all. It took me a moment to get ready. And I decided to see what happens. Because now as I sat here, the energy changed. And I kind of like it that way. I prefer to sit here and have a clean slate and see what happens rather than having a list of things that I shouldn't forget to say. So if any of the energies that I'm going to be painting here speaks to you in a particular way, I always intend, trust, and assume that it's going to find you at the perfect place at the perfect time. That's the idea of Tetraviorium. So if it speaks to you in a particular way that it helps you understand yourself, navigate your life, orient yourself, love yourself and those around you a little bit better, then great, that's the point. And if it doesn't, then it's probably for or from somebody else. The way I deliver these messages here can be a little bit abstract, so it doesn't necessarily need to make sense, and it's sometimes not coherent from the beginning till the end at all. But it's up to you to make that judgment. I noticed that other energy readers, they have their dogs and their cats walking on their tables. So I also brought my love here onto the table. I hope you can see it. It's her first time to be here, so let's see how it goes. Let's begin. It's Gemini full moon, for your information, and I feel the need to make this whole canvas wet for the beginning. I used to paint on paper, and paper moves very differently when you add water to it. It's kind of like the canvas also now shows its true skin when it's wet. It's like watching your skin after a hot shower, and then you notice that it's different than usually. Iris comes to me. And what does it symbolize to you? Because to me it symbolizes just pure femininity. Especially those irises that have very dark colors in inside and then bright flamboyant colors on the outside. That symbolizes true, integrated, developed, expanded, deep and high femininity that is fully encompassed, like a full spectrum of feminine energy. I'm going to add some dark inside. interesting. Interesting that I feel drawn to exactly that paint, which is very metallic blue. Okay. I'm seeing somebody walking on the street, going for a walk, and feeling really good in that walk. I first and foremost sense that your ears are open, your crown is open, your shoulders are relaxed, your breath is very deep and in sync with your body, and each step you make is it's grounding you even more, and it gives you a sense of walking in such a rhythm that if somebody's looking at you from behind or from a side, they could pick up on your energy simply from the way you walk, because you walk very fully embodied, like very grounded, very centered, very in yourself, but also radiant outside. It's like there is something to the rhythm of how you walk, and it comes from feeling good as you're walking. It's as if like you consciously enjoy the walk, and you're being aware of it. You may even tell to yourself like, oh my god, I really love this walk, I really needed it. And then I feel something in my back. It's like it's almost as if like you're trying to set yourself free from some sort of internal constriction, and you find that freedom through walking outside. And you enjoy your walk, and you enjoy it for quite some time, and it's been like, I don't know, 45 minutes of you feeling like, oh my god, I love this walk. And then you find something. It's as if like previously you didn't want to carry anything because you realize how much you really love feeling free as you're walking, and then you find something and you pick it up and it's heavy, and you're like, no, I don't want to carry anything. And then you keep walking, and then you find another thing. Like, I don't know, maybe you're passing next to a market, and then you find like 20-kilo big plant that you want to buy for your home. And you pick it up, and then at some point you just kind of collapse into like, ah, fuck it, I'm just gonna carry. And then you pick it up, and I have to walk 45 minutes back and bring that plant back home. And it's heavy. But it's as if you're telling to yourself like, yeah, I'm used to carrying heavy things, so I'm just gonna carry it. And then you carry it for 45 minutes, and then you come home and you realize that you didn't need to plant, you didn't want to plant, you have nowhere to put it. You picked it up only because you got used to carrying something heavy. And yeah, you liked the freedom of not carrying something heavy, but it's as if to a part of you, or maybe even to your physical body, it's a little bit unusual to feel free and to not have to carry something. So you pick up something, just to compensate for that feeling of, well, what am I going to do now when I don't have anything to carry? So I'm just going to carry something. That may even be in the mental realm, as you spend 45 minutes feeling like, oh my god, love and peace everywhere. You're just like, I don't know, loving life, and then you remember some shit that happened 2 weeks ago, and you start narrating it to yourself. And then you you have to like tell a story to yourself of how unfair it was and how annoying it was, and oh my god, can you believe that? And then you start talking and you realize that it's hard to keep up with that story because all the energies around you and all the frequency that you are already in is not really supportive of thinking shit. But you feel the responsibility to finish what you started, so you just keep going through it. And everything, and as you keep going through it, it's like everything is pointing to you like, hey, look at the synchronicity over here. Hey, look at this color here. Have you seen that? And then your phone is ringing, and then you hear something, and then you remember something else. But just like, there's this aspect of you that really feels like it needs to grab and keep being like attached to some shit happening, at least somewhere. And then the key part of all of this is that you notice. You notice. And you let it play out. And then you organically come to the conclusion that it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit in the air that you're in. No, there's no. Okay. I'm also getting like a wave of light energy that comes seemingly out of nowhere, and it's kind of like a wave that comes in, and it just kind of shifts you into another way of being, into a lighter way of being, which might manifest in multiple different ways in different areas. So for example, you may be a person that likes to eat bread all the time, and you need bread in order to ground yourself and keep yourself here. But then suddenly you feel drawn to eating grapes and skipping the bread and changing part of your diet to eat more food and fruits that make you lighter, that make you go a little bit more up. And you feel, it's not that you don't have a need for grounding in terms of nutrition, it's more that you feel I'm getting like, it's okay, I can handle it. It's like you feel more comfortable being in those energy states that were previously destabilizing to you. And the same energy also can show itself in, for example, you all of a sudden realize that where you find yourself, it's not like a mental realization, it's just like you find yourself enjoying listening lighter music, whatever that is to you. You know, we all have different tastes and stuff. But it's like you find a new baseline where you base yourself, where you ground yourself, like where do you rest? What is your 0 point? You introduce new frequencies into your 0 point. It's like you hear music that you normally wouldn't listen to. Something that might be called happy music. And you find yourself enjoying it. And then there is this mental realization of, I could be spending more time here. And when I'm saying there is a new baseline that you find for yourself, that also includes your physical body. What is your physical position of rest? maybe you're somebody who sits a lot, and then now it shifts you into finding that 0 point in movement, in dance or in improvisation of some sort, or some sort of sport or practice. In overall energy of all of that is kind of more open, like a lotus flower, or like iris. I've never done this before. I have never done this before, and then as I said that, my heart started racing for a second. So there might be something really exciting that you're doing that you've never done before. Maybe you're using a tool that you've never used before. Oh my God. And okay. Trailblazing and leaving mark. Oh wow, that's really interesting. It's like you're doing something that you've never done before, you're using tools that you've never used before, but somehow you make it to be your own. It's like, okay, now I'm gonna repeat myself to make a point. You're using something that you've never done before. You're using tools that you've never used before. You're doing something you've never done before. But the way you do it is that if somebody comes and sees what you're doing, they will be like, yeah, this is so you. Yeah. And the number that I'm having here is number 7. Do you see it? Here. Here. Yeah. Number 7. If somebody told you that 7 is your lucky number and that this is your confirmation, well then this is your confirmation. I'm seeing that 7 being in grass of some sort. I don't feel really at home here where I am in this painting. Okay, so there's like a little bit of that new energy that you're in, there's like a little bit of, you're not used to it. It's not something you're used to it. It's not usual for you, so there's a little bit of adjustment period that you're going through. And I'm getting a lot of feeling activated and feeling like, oh my God, there's so much that you can do, there's so much that you can be, there's so much that you can change, there's so much that you can act on, there's so much that is just waiting for you to come and be and do. But at the same time, you also need to allow your body to digest all these changes and to allow yourself to ease into it. Like there's no rush, there's no must. I feel a little bit slightly disconnected, but that disconnection is telling me, be mindful of what is going into your head, because you are influencing yourself all the time with everything that you consume. So if you're looking at something that is unpleasant to you, it is going to, it's like it's coming in, but it's coming out as well. And then what is coming out is not always something that you want to be fully present with. I'm also getting something is being introduced to you, and it is being presented to you as a part of your truth. It's something that is in your auric field, but it's not something that is on the forefront of your being, or at least not yet. And there is a little bit of resistance to opening it up. It's kind of in the field of somebody tells you, hey, you're a great artist. And the part of you is like, yeah, right. But then you're like, really? You really think so? And then like this, yeah, right, is like your protector that comes in and be like, yeah, I don't. It's like you don't really allow yourself to fully embody that aspect of yourself that is first and foremost able to take a compliment and recognize itself for what it is. There is a little bit of that energy of like somebody bringing something to you that is really revealing the beauty of who you are and what you are in whatever area or field that you are operating in. And the part of you still kind of holds back from fully accepting it. And it's to protect you. And it's not even to protect you, but it's because there is this resistance of you're afraid to be too egoic. You don't want to appear pretentious. You don't want to appear egoistic. You don't want to appear too confident. Like you don't want to be too much. And I feel like through going through this, you're gonna learn the difference between fake confidence, imposed confidence, and pretentiousness, and on the other side, real, true, embodied confidence that comes from cultivating skills and presence and work that you need to put in order to be that aspect of yourself that is trying to get out of you, that is trying to be recognized from the outside in. I'm also getting a presence of somebody from the past, somebody that used to know you as a different person that you are now. And because of their presence, you automatically, this is not something that happens like intentionally, it's not that you do that on purpose, but it's like they know you when you were a smaller version of yourself, and then now when they come back around, they automatically invoke that version of you, and you don't really feel fully yourself next to them. It's like you need to practice allowing yourself to be fully who you are in the presence of whoever. It ties into this, if you play any kind of musical instrument, then you might know, or if you perform anything. It's like you're doing something well until somebody's looking at you. And then as soon as somebody's looking at you, or at least even if you think that they're looking at you, then you make a mistake. Because you kind of have to practice staying fully present in your body as you're doing whatever you're doing, and leave out all the rest. There are some other examples that are coming with a musical example now that I'm not sure if I ever used that example. I don't want to repeat myself. There is something about some trusted source of some sort, somebody that you trust, somebody that you rely on, somebody that you don't question them, whoever they are. They contradict themselves. So you might be hearing them saying one thing in one moment and then completely the other thing in another moment. And from the human perspective, you might be attacking their human self and be like, they're lying. How can they be this way? They're wrong. But on a greater level, what that opens up for you is uncertainty that you actually need in order to experience life. Camera's up, recording. They basically do that in order to invoke this feeling of uncertainty within you, so that you can feel truly open to life and see what actually does happen. Is it one or the other, or the third? Just like I could have painted the energy in one way or this another way, or not painted at all, and see what happens then. They didn't do it on purpose, they don't do it because they're mean, they didn't do it because they're stupid. The life organized itself in a way that it challenges you to enter the space of uncertainty, of the unknown, and befriend it, and be curious. Hopefully be curious. Once upon a time I was painting a painting called All That Is Also Isn't. You can find it in my book, The Book of Meanings, the link is down below. And it speaks really about this, about the ability to say one thing in one moment and then go to another moment, and there you're able to say the same thing in a completely different way, or a negative of that thing. And both of those things are true. And both of them are false. All that is also isn't, and the other way around. Nothing really is 100% always set in stone. It's just, it appears this way when you stand here. But if you move somewhere else in space and time, you can see that it's totally not the same thing that it used to be from there where you've been before. You know what else I'm seeing? It's a very this energy is very purple, and then when I'm looking up, I see it in the space as well. Although there's not much purple, but there's like purple air here. I see purple among the plants. I'm having like 3 dying ivies behind the camera. And I'm sorry that they have to die, but I don't know what else to do with them. It's too cold for them outside, but it's too warm for them inside, and they're dying. And there's like a purple energy to them. And they kind of show me that there is some sort of like a world collision happening. Now when I'm speaking it out, it seems very like out of nowhere. Where did you get that from? I'm seeing some like a mixing of air on a big scale. It's this energy of like when you're watching a film, you're watching a movie of some sort or a TV show, and then the energy of that TV show or the film is blending in with the energy of your own being in your own atmosphere, in your own space where you're watching it, to the point where you're watching something and then you can recognize that the atmosphere that is in the film or the TV show that you're watching is the same atmosphere that you're having in your own space. I sense that happening. And whatever you're watching, this film or a TV show, or even if it's this video, it speaks to you about you. And there might be that aspect of you that is being spoken to, that is kind of being asked to come out. And it happens from the outside in, to the point where it seems as if like the worlds are blending in, but it's actually you becoming more you. If that makes sense. Okay. My spider is just not moving. I assume that she just likes it. I was expecting that she will be walking around so you can see that she's actually alive. The air around you is changing. There's some sort of like, yeah, the world is not really the best place right now on the planet, but there is also some sort of a comfort that is being taken in it. I get that comfort in terms of if you're doing something and then you're questioning yourself, like, yeah, how is this going to be received? Is it good or not? Whatever. There's also part of you that recognizes that there are so many worse things on the planet, which then allows you to actually go on with doing whatever you're doing. There is some sort of like, again, I'm getting this. I've had that energy before, and that is aestheticism of something that is ugly. Like finding beauty in something that is ugly, and using something ugly in order to create something that is digestible to the world around you. And there's like a level of comfort in knowing that there are people who love ugly. Take that as it works for you. And I sense, yeah, I sense a lot of comfort being found in ugliness, where that ugliness is being utilized for something pretty. In general, I feel like the point of this painting, or these energies that are in the painting, I feel that the point is to find comfort in them all. It's like you're learning how to be comfortable with those energies. You're like expanding the bandwidth of how much capacity do you have to be present with all of this. And where do you find your 0 point? I'm not sure. So what is happening to me personally while I'm painting this is that I'm getting a lot of déjà vus, and I'm not sure if I've already gave those energies before, because I'm getting things to say, but then I also notice that I'm not sure if I already picked them up in the previous paintings. Like one of the things is I feel the need to introduce music to these energies, and the music that I feel fitting is Floating Points album Crush. I'm not sure if I've ever mentioned that music already before, because I feel like I have. I feel like I have, but my mind is telling me that I haven't. So you might be experiencing a lot of déjà vus. I think the game is called Chip's Challenge. That is coming to my mind to explain this sound that I'm hearing, like when I'm looking at this passage here. And I'm also feeling that sound going up my neck towards the ears. And it's kind of like this arrows pointing towards a direction, and it's being on repeat. It's kind of like pushing forward. In the game Chip's Challenge, which is like a super old game, there are those fields with these arrows that are pointing out in a certain direction. They're green, which symbolizes to me that there is like some sort of like a forward momentum or forward movement or forward, or at least something is like pushing you forward. It's on one level, like I see it as if it wants to say keep going, but it doesn't say that. It's like the keep going is kind of semi-outspoken. It's like they're in the potential. It's like you can sense it, you can conclude that that's what's the point of it, but it's not really fully there. It's non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. Is that a word? It's like you can't, you're not really in a position to hear keep going because you have no choice but to keep going. It's kind of like that. Let me add something more. How is full moon in Gemini playing out in all of this? If you have a clear answer to that, let me know. Oh my god. There's like a reevaluation of something that you've done where you thought that it was a total disaster. But it wasn't really, because some people remembered you for exactly that, and they don't see that as total disaster. They see it actually exactly the opposite. And they keep you a nice memory for doing that. And they might have reached out, or they might be reaching out to you as if like, as a person that they hold as that person who did that. And they see that in a more honorable way than you see yourself having done that. And it comes like a nice surprise of some sort. And in that I sense a lot of joy. It's like it's not as bad as you thought. Or at least you thought that it was bad, but the others, they didn't. They didn't, not at all. Okay, so this full moon actually gives you an opportunity to reassess something and see a full picture. It's like there's like a full circle of something that is available to you. It doesn't feel like it immediately. It's not as heavy as you are kind of used to. It feels like you entered this full moon with a little bit more bracing than was necessary, and it was kind of like a pleasant, nice surprise that not everything is as bad as it seems. Yeah. Some things ended up being more connected in a very like old school, by the book, practical manner. It's like if there is any kind of a book of what's going on the planet Earth in theory, the practice ended up being exactly as the theory suggests. Like some things are like in the great scheme of things, where everything is constantly in a movement and changing and falling apart and redefining itself and getting back together in a completely unexpected way, and it's just like a lot of like, oh my god, mind blown moments is like all over the planet all the time. There are also some things that really just happened by the book and ended up being like quite predictable, earthly predictable, in a good manner, in like a good energies. Yeah. I think that's about it. So I'm gonna finish it here. Thank you for being here. Yeah, let me know if you like the presence of my love on the table. She's here. See her? That black thing. Yeah, that's her. Her name is Pocket. What else I want to say? I had like a list of things that I wanted to say. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting. And yeah, if I don't say it now, I'm gonna say it in the next painting. I'm gonna force myself to remember things that I can't remember right now. I don't know, the outros are now became a little bit more complicated than the intros used to be. I'll have to find a way how to close a painting in a reasonable way. But I never want to do it in like a automatic way of, you know what I mean. Anyway, I guess for the third time, thank you for being here.